Hi, dear students. Good morning. Welcome to our next class. In last class, you learned about matter and the three states of matter, how the molecules are arranged in three states of matter, and how the states of matter change from one state to another state. This all we are completed. And today we are going to learn more about these solids, liquids and gases, how they behave when they mixed up in water. That we are going to learn in today's class. Okay, so to understand this, you can do one small activity. How solids behave when they are mixed up in the water. So to understand this, you need a glass of water. You need a glass of water and a tablespoon of salt. Then take the salt. Salt is in which form? Is it in liquid form or solid form? It's in solid form. In place of salt, you can even take sugar. So take a tablespoon of sugar or salt and dissolve in water. What can you see? We can get salt solution or sugar solution we are obtaining. So the liquid which is dissolving, the more amount which is present in this solution, more amount of the liquid or the solid, whatever it may be in more amount, that's known as the solvent. Solvent is in more amount and which is getting dissolved in the solvent, that's known as solute. So sugar is the solute or salt is the solute and they are dissolving in the solvent. So here water acting as a solvent, that means it's absorbing. What's the meaning of it? And before class you learned that the liquid particles are having some gaps between them. So these gaps are known as intermolecular spaces. You learned about intermolecular spaces in before class. So these sugar particles or sugar molecules are entering into the water which is acting as solvent. So between these water molecules, whatever the space is there, that is occupied by solute. Sugar or salt particles are occupying the space between the water molecules so that they prepared a solution. Sugar and the water mixed up with each other and a solution is prepared. So solute and solvent mixed up each other and they formed a solution. So here the solute is in which form? That means either salt or sugar is in which form? Solid form. So the solid is getting mixed up in the water. So these are solids in the water. That means the solids are getting dissolved in the water. Are you understanding? You do this experiment and practically you observe how the solids are in the water, how solids can be inside the water. So, when solid is added in water, solids get dissolved in the water. Example, sugar in water and salt in water. When you do practically, you will understand how these salt particles are occupying the space between the liquid particles. Understood? This is all about solids in water. and how the liquids in water. Inside the liquid, you know that the liquid particles are having intercellular, intermolecular spaces. So between this intermolecular space, the another liquid comes and occupy the space, so that they are making two liquid in liquid solutions. Liquid in liquid solutions. Here the liquid only acting as the solvent, and the liquid, another liquid is acting as a solute. So liquid solutions are liquid in water. Liquids in water you are learning. To understand this, you mix up some kerosene oil into the water. Take half of glass water and mix some kerosene or coconut oil and observe. Will they both mix up with each other? No, not at all. The kerosene oil forms another, it forms another layer. A separate layer it forms. And water makes another layer. So these type of liquids are known as, these type of solutions are known as liquids in water. Wherever two liquids are not mixing up with each other, these type of solutions are called immiscible solutions or immiscible liquids. We are calling them as immiscible liquids, which will not mix up with each other. And sometimes two liquids can mix up with each other. Any example for that? Two solutions, they can mix up with each other. Like alcohol you take, it's a well-known example. Alcohol when we mix up in the water, or glycerin when we mix up in the water, it's easily, glycerin and alcohol easily mix up in the water. So these type of solutions are known as miscible liquids. Miscible liquids which do not mix up with each other known as immiscible liquids, which can mix up with each other, miscible liquids. So to understand and to remember forever, you prepare one immiscible solution and one miscible solution and try to identify the difference between both of them. Why they are not mixing up with each other. Why some are immiscible liquids, why some are miscible liquids. Why can't these molecules will take up the space in the water? You find out the reason, and when you do practically, you will enjoy this immiscible and miscible formation. These liquids, how they are forming, what's the meaning? Miscible means when two liquids completely mix up with each other. And immiscible means when two liquids are mixed together, they do not dissolve. That's like oil and water. Oil particles, oil molecules cannot fix between the water molecules. The space can't be sufficient for oil particles or oil molecules. So they'll be forming a separate layer. Such type of liquids are known as immiscible liquids. Okay, so these type of solutions are known as liquids in water. Liquids in water. How the liquids are dissolved in the water. When liquid is added in the water, what happens you learnt. So till now you learnt solids in water and liquids in water, how they are different. What's the meaning of a solute? What's the meaning of a solvent? How a solution is formed, you learnt. Now, the third state of matter, that is gases. You also learnt about gases, right? So, how gases are mixed up in the water? To understand here, you can do one more experiment with the help of your elders. Take a bowl of water you take, and half the bowl you fill with water and heat this water on a stove. With the help of your parents, you do this experiment. Heat up this water. Then what happens? When you boil water, you observe some bubbles are formed along the side of beaker. Inside this, some bubbles are formed. After boiling some time, you can observe the bubbles inside the beaker. These are the dissolved gases that get separated from water on heating. Actually, these bubbles are coming. What are formed inside? After heating some time, you can see the bubbles. These bubbles are formed from the gases. These bubbles are coming from the gases. These bubbles are formed from the gases which are there inside the water already. So these dissolved gases that get separated by heating, you are supplying the heat energy. Because of this energy, these molecules takes up the energy. So they move with more energy, and in the form of bubbles they are coming out. Yes, observe this practically. These gases like carbon dioxide and oxygen, which is already dissolved in this water, like CO2 and O2 are already dissolved in this water. They are coming out in the form of bubbles when you are supplying the heat energy. For example, water in rivers, oceans and lakes, all these have dissolved oxygen in it. Because of this dissolved oxygen, the organisms are able to live. Fishes are able to live in water due to the oxygen dissolved in the water. O2 is dissolved in H2O. In water, some dissolved amount of oxygen present. Due to this, the fishes and the remaining organisms are able to live in the water. And sometimes you can see some cool drink bottles. When you try to open that cool drink bottle, first what you will observe? With a hissing sound, some gas comes out. With some bubbles and hissing sound, gas comes out. You observe this clearly whenever you are using up the cool drink next time. These are the bubbles of carbon dioxide gas which have been dissolved in the water under great pressure. Actually, that aerated drinks are having carbon dioxide, compressed carbon dioxide, which was dissolved in that drink. In that cool drink, carbon dioxide was dissolved. So, whenever you try to open, the gas is coming out first in the form of bubbles and with a hissing sound. So these type of gases are known as, these type of solutions are known as gases in water. Gases are dissolved in the water. Understood? And here some more examples are there. Gases in water. In clouds, when you observe the clouds, water and other gases are mixed together. You know that around us air is present, and air is a mixture of many gases like carbon dioxide. Same way, here also, whenever the clouds are forming, the water and the gases are mixed together. So, due to this, the cloud formation takes place. This is one example for the gases in water. And even in fog, they are mixed up. Fog also a mixture of water and other gases. So these are the different types of states of matter, how it is mixing in the water you learned today. Solids in water, liquids in water, and gases in water, along with examples we understood and we learned today. How the matter is expanding, how expansion or contraction of the matter takes place, along with some examples and some activities and experiments we will learn in tomorrow's class, children. So, you have done three experiments today to understand how the solids dissolve in water, how liquids dissolve in water, how gases are dissolved in water. Do these three activities and note down your observations. And any activity, whenever you are writing, maintain the 5 columns like before also you did this. Whenever you are writing any experiment or any activity, when you are writing, you give the side headings. First write as aim, what purpose you are doing that experiment, and the next one is what materials you needed to do that experiment. What are the materials you need to continue this experiment? And then you write third one you write as procedure. What procedure you will follow to do this experiment? Procedure means I have taken half glass of water and mixed up a tablespoon of salt and stirred it well, like that the whole procedure. And finally write your observation. Aim, materials required, procedure, and finally inference are the observation you write down. So, and even along with this, you also draw this diagram how I showed in the image. So, I want these three diagrams along with three activities in your notebooks. Okay? So, solids in water, liquids in water, gases in waters. These three activities note down and draw the diagrams in front of that activities or the experiments. Thank you, children. We'll discuss about how matter gets expanded in coming class. Thank you.